Hello, it's Mike, TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Jayco Eagle 28.5 RSTS fifth wheel. You guys picked a beautiful unit here. I'll walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A few things taken into consideration when you're parking. On your campsite, I want you to leave plenty of room for this awning. On your off camp, as well as your campsite slide. On your off campsite, 2 slides to leave room for. Then I also want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Your power is going to be on your rear corner, again on your off camp side or your driver's side of your tow vehicle. Then your docking station for water is going to be toward the front, just behind your storage. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once we arrive, first thing we're going to do, unhook our hitch. And we will do that by coming to the front of the unit here. Here's where we'll extend or retract our legs, extend to raise, retract to lower. Make sure that when you're hooked up and lift this up, that when you push this back through, that the other end comes through the other end, the other side of your bar here. Make sure that pins all the way through. To bring that down, get it nice and level by using these. Next thing we're going to do is bring down our rear stabilizing jacks. All the way here in the back corner on our campsite by our low point drain. It's going to be the button for our rear stabilizing jacks. Now one may come down in front of the other sometimes. Sometimes they'll come down together. I'm going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt, debris, hot blacktop in the summer. It's going to better distribute the weight. Remember, our unit's already level. We are just going to stabilize it. So once them are down and it feels like it's going to start to lift the unit, stop. Got our unit level and stable. Next thing we're going to do is hook up our power. Big long 30 amp cord here. Plugs in the rear corner. Does have a lock on here, goes in, turns to the right, locks on. At the end of that 30 amp, should you need to plug into 110 somewhere, 30 to 15 amp reducer will be in your convenience pack. Got your power hooked up. Let's hook up our water. Docking station up here is going to open up with your deadbolt. Open that up, deadbolt key. So at campsites, we're going to hook up to city water connection. First thing we do is point our blue handle down. Point that down. Then grab our water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in your unit. Always use this because you don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites. Over here on the right is going to be our city hookup. Hook that up. Hook up our hose, but don't turn our hose on yet. One more step. Just to the right is your hot water heater. Now we're doing at this point, making sure our drain plug's back in. Throw some plumber's tape around this, not putty. Putty will gum up on you. Get that in there nice and snug. Once that's in there tight, we can go ahead and turn that hose on. Got that hose on for a little bit. We'll just step inside and open up our slides. Coming up inside your unit to your control panel. There's your slides. I always out of habit like to take a look at any of my cabinets here, make sure none of them have popped open that my slide may catch. Especially your little handle back here, make sure your closet has stayed closed. Go up here and start opening things up. We will extend the bedroom first. That'll be up here. What we're going to do is we're going to open up all these slides so that we can open up all of our water taps. Once you go into all your bathroom, shower, sink here, open up all of your water taps, get a nice steady flow of water going through them, then shut them off, and then go outside to see if you lift up on your pressure release valve on your hot water heater, which I'll show you when we get back out there. If water comes out of there, then you know your hot water heater is full. and you can turn that on from in here. We'll talk about that when we come back in. So again, with our slides all open, go through and open up all our water taps, get all the air out of the lines, get a nice steady flow of water, and shut them all off. Now let's say we're going to go camping and we're not going to use city water. We're going to go boondocking, dry camping. In that case, we're going to switch this up to tank fill. Then we're going to hook up our hose the same way, fill it up the same way. Except this time, when we're filling up our tank, we're going to go on the inside where we check the levels of our black and gray tanks. We are also going to watch our freshwater tank fill up. Once that's full, come out here, remove that hose, and then whenever you want to, then you'll switch that back to city. Then whenever you want to use that water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when hooked up to city water. That's already pressurized. All right, we're all set up to camp with power and water. Let me continue walking around out here, continuing in this docking station. Over here on my left, I have satellite and cable hookups. Here is a quick connect for the spray port hose. Underneath here is our tank flush. We'll talk about that when dumping our tanks. A light, again our pump, and then our tank fill or city water, and that's where we put it in at. To the right again, our hot water heater. I was talking about earlier, when you're filling up your water, if you come up here and lift up on this pressure release valve, and if water comes out of there, then you know this is full. Make sure that goes back down. That's the flue for your furnace. A couple things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked. And two, if you are running your furnace, steer clear of that. It does get hot. With this door closed, you'll be able to read our black tank, gray tank, and then we have another gray tank. So when we're dumping, there's our handles underneath here. We have black, gray, and then gray. Talk about that when leaving the campsite. Our propane is on a regulator, lefty loosey to open. Low point drain is inside here. You'll open up that to dump our low point drains when leaving the campsite. This is our battery disconnect. That'll disconnect all the battery power to the unit. That'll come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide and propane detector. And there's a hand crank to bring down your spare tire. Continuing down our off camp side to the rear. Again, this is where our power comes in. You got a ladder, utilize it. Go up there a couple times a year, check the seams of your roof, and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. Your accessory hitch there. All the load limits for that are there, as well as a quick connect propane here. I'm going to run a girdle off the back of this. Our other low point drain for our freshwater tank. Dump that right there. Again, our rear stabilizing jacks. Your antenna. Both of these are access to your fridge. This is to release condensation. A vent for your microwave. Your outdoor speakers. The other side of your pass-through storage. You can carry a spare propane tank over on this side. You got a couple of 110s up here on the front. There's your spare tire. As I said, your hand crank will get that down right there. Inside here is your battery posts. Check them every now and then. Make sure they haven't wiggled loose. You are bouncing a house down the road. Several things to check on. Make sure things stay tight. Here you can plug in a solar panel and that'll trickle charge your batteries. And that about covers everything out here. So take a look on the inside. Alright, again, coming up inside your unit, first thing I always like to point out is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway. Immediately coming in, up top is our control panel. Start up here with exterior lights, which is our awning light. These were extras. Water pump, that's where you turn on your water pump and fill in your potable water. Over here, turning on your hot water heater. This side for electric, this side for gas. Choose correctly, whatever you're using, and if that light comes on, your gas is low. There's a slide controls we just utilized. On your awning, you hit extend to run that out. Keep an eye on it when you run it out, because you only want to run it out until that flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see the bar. That does run in rather quickly. And again, your exterior lights is that awning light. Just make sure you don't run it out further than you need to. Down below this is a remote control for lighting. Slide controls, you can do these from outside. Put your bedroom one. Main lighting here. Over here's your thermostat. Crank your AC on. You hear that running. You shut your AC off. Shuts right off. Turn your heat on. I hear the heat running. You shut the heat off. Generally, as is now, it takes a few minutes for the heat fan to cycle through before it shuts off. Continuing in the unit, down below all of our storage here is going to be our access panel to our breaker box enthusiast. Got a handful of 15s there. Highly recommend having some of those with you when you go camping. Again, all of our storage in here. Automatic motion sensor light in here. This light in here is on a dimmer. Hold your finger on it and it'll brighten it right up. We do have an extension on this table. Paperwork. Couple recliners, keep them strapped down for travel. The lighting over here is here. Emergency escape window. Grab your screen, pull that towards you, push this out, that'll rip right out, you can get out. Show you quickly how to turn your sofa into a bed. Start by removing your rear Velcro cushions. Turn on the light over here so you can see this a little better. Once you remove your cushions, standing in the middle gives you good leverage. Lift that up, pull these out, up and towards you. Lay this back down. Just that quickly, you've got a bed. Now make sure that when you're putting this back, you lift the back up first. Otherwise you'll damage your sofa. Lift this up, fold your legs in. Return your cushions. Just that quickly you are back to a sofa. Coming over here in the control up here, the cabinet, will be our stereo. Indoor, front, or outdoor speakers, or none. 3 zones on your speakers. AM, FM, DVD, AM, FM, auxiliary, Bluetooth. So nice system here. Below that, here's your television. There's a remote for that sound system. Here's a remote for your TV. On your television, when you arrive at the campsites, you're going to want to go into your menu here, go into your digital channel scan and run a channel scan for all your local channels so you'll be able to pick them up. And make sure that this is strapped for travel. Looks like someone used a little koozie to protect your screen. Come to our no cold fridge real quick. Auto is where you're generally going to want to run that. That means when you're plugged in, you're running off electricity. As soon as you unplug, it switches to gas. Or strictly go gas. If that light starts flashing, your gas is low. 1 through 5, 5 being the coldest. Self-explanatory microwave. Cooktop has a light and a fan. Turn that to light, hit your spark. All three of those, show you all of them lighting up. Your oven, you will have to get in there and light the pilot light. Speakers, smoke alarm up there. Plumbing in your sink. You got plumbing down here to keep an eye on. Again, bouncing a house down the road, people, you want to keep an eye on things and make sure nothing wiggles loose over time. Coming up the hallway is our antenna. Right crank to get that up, left to bring it down. Come into our bathroom. Lighting all the way to the left. 110 with GFCI reset in here. And for the last time, more plumbing to keep an eye on. Shower door. You want to make sure that when we travel, that shower door is snapped closed. And that this door is snapped open. You also have a hand crank open power exhaust vent here. Comes into our bedroom. Got my lighting. Remote for in here. It's already on. Shut that off. Here's your cable and 110 connection. Another fan back here. Hand crank that open. Storage under your bed. There's your extra folding chairs to match your dining room table. Emergency exit window in the bedroom. A couple charging ports up there. These lights, if you touch them once, they're blue. Hold them in, they're a reading light. Alright, that about covers everything in here. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. Starting here in the rear, close vents. Close doors and shut off lights. Make sure nothing's in the way of this slide coming in. That this door is closed and this vent is closed. I will say doors and drawers. Walk through the unit. Just make sure all doors and drawers are closed. Nothing's going to impede your slides from coming in. Especially on this side. Make sure that pantry, as well as these cabinet doors are closed. Shut off my main lights. Now I can walk through and see all the accent lights that need to be shut off by hand. So I got all my lights off. I can come back and turn back on my main lights. Open my control panel and close the unit up. We'll start by closing the bedroom slide that we made sure nothing was in the way of. Bring in our living room slide. And lastly, our kitchen slide. Make sure nothing's in there. They utilize every inch on these things. Slides in, shut off our main lights, and exit the unit. Now on these steps, biggest thing you want to remember opening or closing these is to have this exterior door all the way open. Otherwise this will catch on it. You see how close it comes coming in. Right or left on this, it doesn't matter to lock that in there. Before you leave the campsite, lock and deadbolt this door, lift and turn this handle. I say before you leave the campsite, that's in case you want to go up front and dump your tanks first. So if we are out boondocking, we're going to come to the rear of our campsite, open up that low point drain, bring up these stabilizing jacks, hook up our hitch, and either head to the nearest dump station or on home. If we are at a campsite, we're going to unhook our power, our water, our cable, bring up these stabilizing jacks, hook up our hitch, and head on up to the dump station. Run these the rest of the way up. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump is going to be just in front of your tires, below your hot water heater. Got 10-foot hose comes with your convenience pack. Get parked, hook that up, and come all the way up front here and pull that black handle. Again, with this closed, you can see black holding tank. That's going to be your sewage. Once it sounds like that's no longer draining, go inside, check your black tank. If it shows empty, come back out here, leave that black handle open, grab the hose at the dump station, and come to your tank flush valve. Hook that hose up there, no need for a water pressure regulator there. Turn that on, let that run for a good 5 minutes. Emphasizing leaving that black tank open. That's going to wash all that nastiness out of your black tank. When that's done, remove that hose. Make sure all the washout that you just put in there has drained. Then close that black tank and pull this first gray handle. Those are going to be cleaner wires, your sinks and your showers. When that's done, go ahead and close that one. And then come up here and pull this one. While this one's draining, I like to go ahead and get inside my control panel here, or this access panel. Just 2 square screws. Open that up, and you can open up your low point drains. You'll see them in there. When them are all done, and your low point drain is no longer draining, come to your hot water heater if you're done camping for the season. First thing, lift up on this pressure release valve. Now that's going to dump a lot of hot water out of there, so be careful. When that's done, push that back down so your door can go back on. Then you can pull this handle for the rest of the water. And keep that stagnant water up out of there. Fresh water every time you're camping. When that's all done, remove your gray handle, or close that last gray handle. Remove your sewage hose, and conveniently and sanitarily store it right here in your bumper. And head on home. Again, we thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Eagle for many years to come. Happy camping.